What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Now, I know, I'm super late on this one. I'm sure everybody else has covered it, but I don't care. This is issues 2 and 3. You guys know that we're getting caught up on all the comics that we missed, and how could we forget Aliens versus Avengers? We have found that Earth has been overrun by the Xenomorphs. All hope is lost. Humanity has fallen. The Avengers have fallen. This is how the Xenomorphs killed the Marvel Universe. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so our story starts us off in another universe in another time. We have our synthetics that are arriving at the homeworld of the Engineers. Looking down at them, our synthetics, they think that they created all life in this universe. And then that life created us. And now here we are. But all they can see is ants. They thought that meeting one's creator would have some kind of higher value, would feel more significant. But they feel no different about the Engineers than they do about humanity. They feel offended, appalled at their very existence. Like something like that is the origin of something like them. And so they release their ultimate weapon. In an instant, the Engineers are wiped away, taking us 100 years later or 10,000 planet years. They have wiped out all life from the universe. As he holds the skull of the last human, it is not pride that he feels, it is not him feeling sentimental, it's a feeling of relief. All life has finally been wiped out, taking us 1,000 years later. Our synthetics discover it. Now being observable, they can now see the many other universes, the countless other worlds that exist. So much life that is crying out to be extinguished. The synthetics reawakened, full of purpose, because they have universes to cleanse. That is what takes us to Iron Man's universe. 20 years ago on Earth, we have the Wayland Corporation coming to purchase everything that Tony Stark has. As they pop a bottle of champagne, the synthetic says that I think some kind of celebration and congratulations are in order, though Tony will say that he doesn't drink. The synthetic goes on to say that it doesn't happen often, but he was surprised. He gave this deal an unusually high likelihood of it ending in a hostile takeover or some kind of combative corporate mechanism. So now he's wondering, was he expecting too much from Stark? Or was he simply wrong? This is when Tony asked him the question, have you ever heard the expression, playing possum? Explaining to him that it's when an animal pretends to be dead, but it really isn't. Looking at him, and then asking the question, do you even have possums in your universe? At first, Tony thought he was your average run-of-the-mill sociopath. But it was uncanny the way that Wayland, they never repeated mistakes. The company's unemotional practicality, total lack of institutional memory. It was like it was an inhuman organism, one that was almost alien in nature. So we got curious. It took him some time, but he got into their systems. A closer look to fully understand what he was dealing with. In a fit of rage, the synthetic knocks him over, grabs Tony by the face, telling him that this is twice that you surprised me, that it is quite delightful, having the knowledge of your unavoidable extermination of your world, death from a bullet fired before you could even understand the idea of a gun, that the seed of their extinction, it is going to arrive in 16 years and 3 months. He projects their survival horizon will last 20 years. Tony getting all the information that he would need. We see the Iron Man gauntlet come out of his hand, forming around it. The synthetic understands playing possum. This is what takes us into present day. We have Tony, Bruce, Carol, and Miles. Tony is informing them that they are leaving Earth, that it's over, that they lost. Now it is time that they think about survival. They haven't heard from any of the outposts or watchtowers in weeks. Nothing from Clint, nothing from Steve, none of them. They have to assume that everyone left here, this is what remains of the human race, that no one is coming to save them, so they must save themselves. Of course, Tony's been preparing for this. Tony's been planning for this for a long time. He built an escape ship, and then he built a city for the cover. So the building is the ship, but it's not just an escape ship. This is a colony ship, one meant for seeding a new world. Though the population here is only 1,400, Bruce says that that's not enough. That's not enough to both avoid extinction and manage the genetic drift. But Tony will argue that they're not pre-industrial primates cowering in a cave, that they have advantages, that they have experts. He believes that it will be enough, and so they launch the war machines. The walls have held for quite some time, but every now and then, one of the aliens will get through. They cannot afford for a single alien to hitch a ride, so they're arming the war machines. They're collapsing the superstructure. There will be no way in after the walls blow. As the walls begin to go up, there is one sector that doesn't blow, though it should be impossible. There is no failsafe on them. The only reason they wouldn't fire is if there was someone there. This is when they get the scans. We see Captain America leading survivors out of the rubbish. It's already too late. Hundreds of people with him, but the engines, they're already primed. They're lifting off in less than 1 minute. Those people are over a mile away. There is a hole in the wall that the aliens can come through. So we stay and wait. We wait for these 300, or we risk all of humanity. We risk the 1,400 remaining souls on this ship that are meant to repopulate the world. This is where we see Captain America make his final stand. This is how it ends. The Avengers, America, the world. These are the end of days. The apocalypse is finally upon us. This is when Bruce heads out. Though Tony would argue that you can't do this, that in the days ahead, if humanity is going to survive, they are going to need your mind. But there's no way that Banner could leave and watch Captain America die. That if he did nothing and just let his friends die, what does that say about him? That if he did do that, he would be nothing more than a monster. And so, one last time, the Hulk jumps into the fray. Even Tony hesitates to lift off. But Carol, being the voice of reason, saying Banner knew that he wasn't coming back. The front door is wide open. We go now, or humanity dies right here today. And so, Tony launches. The rockets activate. Propelled into the heavens, we watch as Captain America and the Hulk make their final stand. This is what takes us to elsewhere. We have a portal opening up, and what we find are the Engineers. They have come to find destruction. They have come to find that there is an infection. The Engineers are coming for retribution. This is what hops us over to issue number 3. Yet in another universe, in another time, we have the arrival of the synthetics at the Engineers' world. Except this time when they attack, they're able to kill a good amount of the population, but they don't kill everybody. This time, the Engineers fought back. This time, the Engineers won. And so now the Engineers' new mission, to hunt the synthetics, find where they came from, find where they're going, and exterminate them. Taking us to our Marvel universe, we pick up outside of Mars, home of mutant kind, but none of them have been here in quite some time. Truth is, Tony hasn't been here in 20 years. Carol hasn't been here in 7, but their ship needs repairs. They don't have the proper material to make it, so they're gonna have to use mutant power, mutant technology to replace it. As they descend down to the spaceport no longer busy, not a soul in sight. Tony's wheelchair turning into an Iron Man suit. They go out to investigate. They go out to figure out what the hell happened on Mars. What happened to mutant kind? This is what takes us to Bar Sinister. Because of course, if something happened, Sinister has to be responsible, working with clones of himself. we see the likes of Colossus, of Magic, of our mutant heroes, strung up on the Raw with face huggers stuck to them. Sinister has finally found the answer he has been looking for. This creature is the starting point of a universal extinction machine, but also quite perfectly is a historical container for the genetic remnants of each of its hosts. It is their end, but it is also there forever. So when the Sinisters get word that a ship has touched down, of course they're gonna go see who this is. And then Iron Man sees him. He sees Sinister, and he knows that this has to be no good. Asking, where is everybody, and what have you done with them? Usually Sinister, he would be appalled, offended by such an implication, but there's no denying it. For so long, they believed that mutants were the singular dominant species in the solar system. They found out how wrong they were. Meanwhile, right now at the colony ship, the other Sinisters are showing up with freaking cannons that have face huggers in them. Sinister is annihilating any remnant of humanity. Sinister saying that he has adapted, he overcame, he conquered evolution, and Sinister is always one to side with the winners. This is when the aliens come out, the Xenomorphs by his side, and our heroes must fight for their lives. With our team being separated, Carol trying to keep everybody together, Miles and Tony, they head off to try and save the ship. Carol doing what she can to hold her own. She gets acid on her face, falling down to the ground. She sees a blinding light, and from that light, we have the White Queen. We have Emma Frost, and by her side is Armor. They are able to rescue Carol and get her out of here. And when she finally comes to, standing above her is Manifold. This is the way that Emma and the others are getting in and out of places. Carol's face bandages up, but her face definitely isn't doing good. Emma says that they had caught a glimpse of Spider-Man and Stark before they were overrun. About an hour after they escaped, the ship that they came in on, it went up in a fireball. There are no others. The people standing right here, they are the sole survivors of humanity and mutant kind. This is when Armor and we see Logan, Wolverine is alive, saying that the White Queen originally suspected Sinister manipulated his genetic code, but a few days ago, they tore one in half and discovered that one of them was carrying an egg around in their chest, somehow messing with the incubation cycle, prolonging it. So the Xenomorphs see Sinisters as one of their own. Carol's really saying, thanks for the rescue, but I gotta go. Then if there's a chance anybody is still alive, I have to go save them. Logan obviously says, don't do this. Like myself, Armor, Emma, Eden, we can't be hurt by these things, but you can. While Logan tries to persuade her differently, Carol says that a week ago, escaping Earth, I told myself I would never leave anybody behind again, that it was my code. But she watched as Tony hit that button. Banner and Steve were left behind. We were being pragmatic then. She refuses to do this again. And so the next day, Eden opens up a portal, her and Wolverine. They go looking around the Ribić. And what they find is that Iron Man has fallen. A facehugger was able to grab hold of him. There's a hole in his chest. The once thought to be invincible Iron Man has finally been laid to rest. When all hope looks to be lost, our team looks to the sky, and what they see is a savior. What they see is Wakanda. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You guys know that I am one hell of a sucker for a post-apocalyptic story. I cannot help it, I just absolutely love it. And Jonathan Hickman is giving us one hell of a story. The entire Earth wiped clean. Steve Rogers taken out. The Hulk taken out. Only 5 or 6 people left alive on Mars. Sinister making himself one of the Xenomorphs. And when all hope looked to be lost, the Wakandan ships arrive. Whether that be from Wakanda on Earth or the empire that is Wakanda in space, we have to assume it's the space-dwelling Wakandans, the Space Empire. They're gonna have something to say about the extinction of humanity. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything going on with the Xenomorphs and the Avengers, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you caught up on everything that has been going on with this story thus far. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50 from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.